We're going to try and work with an 85% rule, meaning that he should have 85% of this right and be responding to the clicker, and around 50% aversion. There is a study out there somewhere, and we're going to link that study, on mammals, and it talks about the optimal learning rate being at 85%. So 85% success rate and 15% failure. If the failure rate is too high, you should make it easier for your dog. And if the success rate is too high, you should make it a bit harder for your dog.
How do you make it easier and harder though? That's probably the key bit.
Okay, so in fact, what we'll do, we're going to do this activity,
Okay.
and then we're going to fluctuate the difficulty of the activity and talk about that as we're doing it.
Nice.
We're going to be guesstimating, of course. What we'll actually do though, we'll have a success rate meter down the bottom, like a little tally. So for every click that's responded to without using the lead, it's a successful rep. And for every failure, we'll have an unsuccessful rep. So we'll have a ticks and crosses or something like that. And we'll see how close we are to a 85%.
Can we have an audible ding?
Yeah, that'd be good. There's another job for you there. Let's give it a go. So absent of distraction and triggers, Len's at the 95, 100% mark. So he's
Nice.
super responsive to this clicker. Look.
Wallop.
So we're going to ask him to get Blue out. His dog, who is a pointer cross... Oh, no, sorry, whippet cross what?
Spaniel.
Yeah, I had to make him say it. So whippet cross spaniel. We're going to get him out. He's a pretty calm dog. He's very non-threatening and intimidating.
Oh, he could be.
Yeah, he could be.
To a mouse.
To a croc.
To a croc, yeah.
So we'll get him out. We'll see how we get on. And then if Lenny's doing well, we'll make it harder, e.g. closing the distance. So, yeah, let's go and do that.
Wait. Big wait.
Cool. There's about right.
Yeah.
And we're going to start
Bang.
the same process that we've been doing. And it's basically the disengage or engage, disengage game, but less shit. So it's like that game, but on steroids. It's fun. Good boy.
Nice.
And all I'm looking for is a positive interrupter for any hyper engagement towards dogs. And then what you're going to start seeing as this Lenny goes over, he's going to auto disengage, and then I'll start rewarding that too. He's done probably. So there was my aversion. There's our first aversion. So we're going to stay at this kind of distance for now. Again, looking at Blue, he's very non-confrontational in his behaviour, bless him. So he's a really good stooge dog to use for stuff like this. He's not bothered because he's half a spaniel.
Even worse, he's half of two spaniels.
Boy!
It's pretty good that some of his responses are when he's actively going forwards as well.
Yeah. But that's because of the guys at the rescue have followed the food guide,
Yeah.
which you can buy on our website, and click a loaded video, which also on our website, to the absolute T.
Yeah.
Boy.
And
Good
it is
boy.
not that hard.
Boy. So comparing this to, I don't know what dog he was brought out on the console. It might have been Maddie's Coda.
Beep beep.
Boy.
Yeah, it was quite spicy.
Nice. So that disengagement, that automatic disengagement from the other dog. There's another aversion, little tap with the lead. The reason I'm adding that tap in with the lead is to teach Lenny that this marker, this cue of the clicker is non-optional.
Has anybody kept count?
No. But I must have done about 20 and 2.
Yeah.
Good boy. Probably worth talking about distance as a factor, but also different dogs might require different distance.
Yep.
So if you brought out maybe Stark, whose energy's a bit higher and he's twirling around and all the rest of it, that might suffice or might need us to be a little bit greater distance. And if you maybe brought Rita out, that might bring a little bit more intensity than Blue. That might need 40 yards instead.
What do you mean?
And this is the beauty of kind of our facility here. Whilst we're in the teaching phase and we're looking for that 85%, we're able to utilize different dogs and space. We know right now, during our teaching phase of Lenny and his learning phase, that we're not going to get interrupted by an off-lead dog coming from absolutely nowhere, because that could really stunt our progress. We can't allow him to practice any sort of aggression. If a dog runs off a lead and comes right up in his face, there's a good chance he's going to practice aggression and that dog goes away. That would act as like a reset button on our methods. So it's really important that we're able to utilize our facilities before we start taking him off site. Good boy.
That kind of ties into that question that you said you would answer during this part about how to make it easier and harder.
So I would make this activity harder by going closer to blue.
Yep.
Or changing that dog.
Yep.
So bringing a higher energy dog out, or maybe he doesn't like male dogs, or maybe he doesn't like brindle dogs, or whatever.
Yep.
And these are all factors we probably need to consider. We make it easier for him by, we can't bring a more wet wipe dog out, to be fair, so. Wait.
Oh.
So we've probably had more failed reps than what we wanted to here, so that means I'm gonna come over here. Ideally, we don't want to be doing that because we don't want his aggressions to create distance, so that was just my stuff up here. But the point of utilizing negative and aversion in dog training is to undo errors. No one's a perfect handler. Maddie the Baddie might be. Maddie the Baddie's not far off.
Perfection.
Good boy. Good boy. Now I'm kind of running low on food, so I'm going to ask Kirky to take Blue back in, bank a couple of easy reps, and then next session, which may be this afternoon or tomorrow, we might make it a little bit harder. So that was a good session though, banked. Ideally, he shouldn't have spilled over into that reaction, but that was my fault, talking shit as usual, instead of concentrating on Len. Oh, you're going to finish on a nice big jackpot, big handful, added a bit of movement in there, and we'll wrap it up there, and he's going to have a little bit of a pot around while the environment is dog free. Good boy, Len. Let him go to the toilet and all the rest of it. Good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Good lad. And then we'll pop him away for another nap.